just signed midfield talent Nypan from Rosenborg. Nypan has been a target for the likes of Villa, Arsenal, and Girona, holding talks with them all in the winter market before deciding to readjust the situation ahead of the summer transfer window. There is optimism at Villa Park that the coveted 18-year-old is enthusiastic about a move there, although they must still agree personal terms and a fee with Rosenborg, so a deal is not yet done. Villa will hope to finalise Nypan's arrival in what may prove a significant coup, given the battle to secure the Norway Youth International Services. Allegedly, Nypan jumps off the page after Haaland, Odegaard, and Nusa. Norway has another mighty prospect. He grew up in, forgive me, I can't say that. He obviously plays for Rosenborg. He was training with the first team at 14. He became, fairly early in his career, became a Norway under-21s international. He may not have been young enough to displace Odegaard as the youngest player in Elysarian history. He's not good then. We have to slander him. Nypan is more of an 8, less of a 10, and plays with fewer flourishes. I mean, that could have helped our squad, didn't it? Really and truly. But yeah, big him up. We have to slander him. Mikel Merino, how we play? Well, the result changes you. It's part of football. Our mentality is to be brave, to be Arsenal, and to stay true to our system. Big you up. In terms of agent fees, Arsenal spent X amount on agent fees between February the 2nd, 2024 and the 3rd of February 2025. The Gunners ranked 6th from clubs in the Premier League, and from the big 6, only Liverpool and Spurs spent less than that time. So something for Berta to consider there, I guess. Arsenal have a lot of plans in the transfer market this summer and offering a bumper contract extension to Thomas Partey, who would then be considered a squad player, is highly unlikely at this stage. What do you lot make of that? Would you give Partey a new deal? Do you think he should be given a new deal? Do you think he shouldn't? Because God forbid, but there's a realm where, he's been ever present, been great in terms of his performances, but he signs a new deal and he probably reverts back to type. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. By the way, Mikel Merino was presented on Saturday with Arsenal's Player of the Month award, which is great, man, because he had a tough way to start. Kivior, playing at the Bernabeu, said, I think this is an amazing stadium. I've never been there, and for me, this is a very good experience. I think it's one of the biggest stadiums, so I'm waiting for this game. It's important to stay calm, but we have to win the second leg. Now, to be fair, there's been bullish chat from Merino, Kivior, and everybody, even Saliba in the aftermath, that we can't sit back, we have to be brave. So it'd be interesting to see how we play. After the first leg, I felt really good. You know that after a game like that, there's no other way. You just feel really good, but I still feel like it's not over yet. The most important thing is still ahead of us, so I'm still cool-headed. Keep going, Kivior. I mean, Gooner said if Kivior has a good game at the Bernabeu, he's selling Gabriel Magalhaes for 100-odd million to Saudi. Let me know your thoughts on Thursday. We're going to get Gooner because he's got to address these sins, man. Partey still being assessed after suffering a knock last weekend, but Arsenal hope he'll be fit to face Real Madrid. That was said by John Cross, people. Apparently, tensions are brewing at Real Madrid. It's been one of the most tense weeks in Real Madrid's dressing room ahead of the clash against Arsenal. This will make for a good documentary for both Arsenal and Real Madrid, by the way. I don't know why there hasn't been, based on the last 2 seasons, like, an all or nothing from an us regard. Bellingham and Rudiger had to be separated during training as a bad tackle led to a confrontation and insults from both players. I know in football that is something, but footballers fight every day, really, I'd imagine, in training, people. If Madrid score an early goal, the team is prepared for it. In football, there is no fixed script. The key is to adapt. Mikel Merino, I'm loving that. Danny Sabah said, Arsenal, we need to give 200%. We need our fans and everyone to believe, just like we believe. We need everyone more than ever. So again, this is kind of how we were moving going into the first leg. The opening minutes will be very important against Arsenal on Wednesday. Naturally, people. Apparently, Man United are eyeing a move for Aaron Ramsdale, and it'd be just like Arsenal to get pennies for him. There's a small profit, I guess, Southampton would make. You'd imagine there's a relegation release clause. You'd imagine there's a sell-on fee. Couldn't begrudge Ramsdale for going Man United. It's a massive club. Do you think you're better than the Turkish guy they've got? I can't say his name. Probably. Do you think you're better than Onana? Bloody hope so. I mean, Ramsdale's got his own problems, but you could nick that. But then again, one thing that did help Man United is, stay up this season is that the 3 promoted teams are just not good enough. If Man United find themselves in a situation like this season, next year they could be in trouble. And even Spurs not have 17, 18 points. Hopefully they go down. Remember, Postecoglou said they win a trophy in their second year. We will be watching the Europa League very closely. But yeah, Aaron Ramsdale's being linked with Man United. He's always linked with Chelsea and he's still linked with Newcastle. Evidently, 2 of those 3 clubs, not so much Newcastle. It's easy to have some creative journalism with Aaron Ramsdale too. Any team that needs a goalkeeper, and obviously the English stuff as well, people. Keen to remain in contention for Tuchel's England squad. Ramsdale's believed to prefer to stay in the top flight should he leave. Fair play. Mikel Arteta has made Benjamin Sesko Arsenal's #1 target. You know, it's very different from the language we hear about Andrea Berta wants to sign Gyökeres. Who would you lot prefer, Sesko or Gyökeres? I'm happy with either. I just want a striker, man. Dean Hudson, I can never pronounce this guy's name, would be excited to join Real Madrid, but currently there's no feedback from them. So Premier League teams are pushing to sign him. He's been linked with us. Ornstein said we've held talks. Do we need another big tickets defender? I don't know. Arsenal and Chelsea are leading the race to sign Nico Williams. Both clubs are prepared to trigger his 60 million euros release clause and beat any salary allegedly proposed by Barcelona. This has said Barca have no intention of signing Nico Williams. They consider that his trainer's already passed. So there's a lot of whispers going on. PSG head coach Luis Enrique fears Désiré Doué could have his head turned by the Premier League and the riches on offer. I mean, can we sign him? Because this baby Neymar, this is who we should have signed from Rennes, man. Should have got him. Real Madrid are not interested in Martin Zubimendi. They prefer Liverpool's Alexis McAllister. I mean, Gravenberch's agent has been talking up his chance of going to Real Madrid. McAllister would bang at Madrid, to be fair. I mean, Liverpool be crazy to let him go. I don't think they'd let him go. I couldn't begrudge McAllister. It feels like McAllister's only been at Liverpool for a season, but it's probably been a bit more. Any player where Real Madrid come calling, you can't begrudge them. But yeah, Liverpool are monitoring Kingsley Coleman's situation ahead of a potential move from Bayern. Arsenal have made contact with the players' reps, allegedly. And then keeping up the alleged stuff, Arsenal ready to compete with Chelsea for the signature of Barcelona defender Jules Koundé and are prepared to offer 75 million euros. Really? Barcelona have placed a 78 million valuation on Raphinha amid interest from the Saudi Pro League. We still were continuously linked with him as well. We've gone over the Koundé thing. I mean, I'm all for it, but Heinsohn, Koundé, this is a lot of money where big ticket items are probably needed in midfield, left wing and up front, as well as having to be a bit cute and clever with all the other roles. We've been linked with Koundé before. I remember an article many years ago, Ornstein said that Koundé was the first choice and we couldn't get him. We went for Ben White. Wouldn't be against it. Can play centre-half as well as right back. Strong defensive depth and whatnot. I don't know if we're really interested in the 26-year-old like that. And obviously because of Barcelona's financial situation, I just think there's a lot of creative journalism anyways with them being linked with players being linked with moves away. Like if I was a journalist, Frankie de Jong to Man United, easy money. Koundé to Arsenal, easy money. Who else is there? Raphinha, easy money linking with Chelsea, Arsenal and Man United. There's probably a couple of others if I really thought about who's in that Barcelona squad. So you have to take everything with a pinch of salt. I hope we haven't been clickbaited here, but Ollie Watkins reveals Aston Villa frustrations amid Arsenal links. He's only started one of Aston Villa's last 5 games. He scored off the bench against Southampton, and he was offered to Arsenal in the January transfer market. The 29-year-old suffered a knee injury last month. I mean, how ironic would that have been if we signed him and he got injured? There is that reality where we could have signed a striker or some sort of depth and we still would have been in problems. Hamzy Flick won't allow one of his key players to leave. DG, do you have any videos on Xavi Simons? We are linked with him. Do you rate him? I do. And I rate him, man. I do think he flatters to deceive. I still think his consistency needs to go up a bit. I do think regardless of the statistics, he's had a bit of a down season, but he's adaptable. He's capable of stardust, good dribbler, versatile, can score goals. A player that you pay to, like, how do you make it make sense? A player that gets bums on seats, if that makes sense. Ramsdale to relegate United next year. Here we go. Amen. Partey will be fit because he's at his training ground and training with the team. Smash the likes. And if you're new here, shout out yourself, Nathan. I'd give Partey a new 1-year deal and try to sign his long-term replacement at the same time. If he leaves, though, I'd understand. I don't think Partey is injured. Apparently, Madrid won't allow him there. I do hear all of that. And I don't know about all of that, but I'd expect Partey to play tomorrow, if I'm honest. DG, Rice and Partey are both fitting in training. That's music to my ears. Smash the likes, Nathan. Big up yourself. And also Big Steve, man. Run up the likes, people. Biggest game of the season so far. It feels like, and obviously it's Madrid, but it does feel like Arsenal. We've said that a few times this season, though. White might come on later to secure the back line. I just need White in the squad, bro. I'm not saying you need to start, but you need the Whites, the Jorginhos, the Tini's big. You're going to need to be displayed. We need to manage the game properly. We need to manage the game, man. We need to manage the game. Too much propaganda. A man said, big up Prime Minister DG. Make sure you're all liking the vids. 35 likes is diabolical, brother DG. Super consistent and bringing us Arsenal fans top quality content. Big up Halftime Hooks, man. Make sure you're giving him a follow. Can't imagine you're not. Well, if it finishes 3-1, we'll still go through. We do need to slay the dragon. Dan, one love, man. There's a rumor that Xabi Alonso is set to be Real Madrid manager for the next season. We keep hearing that, and there's speculation over Carlo Ancelotti, and I guess it's comes with the territory at Real Madrid, isn't it? Like, them man don't care if you, and technically they still hold the Champions League because they won it last year and there's not a new winner. They don't care about past laurels, isn't it? It's just how the job goes. I do want to give them hell. Man said deluded Espanol. Yes, I've been watching fans of other Spanish clubs all week. Yeah, in the circle, you've been loving it, man. We're going to hold a high line or drop deep. I think we have to hold a high line because dropping deep, it makes sense, but you're inviting pressure. That you're inviting them like to just come at you and come at you and come at you. I'd rather we just keep doing what we're doing. Of course, if something happens, we're going to have to adapt. Crisis meeting. Where did I say that? Where did I say crisis meeting? So if Carlo doesn't make a miraculous comeback tomorrow, he'll get sacked. Arsenal have a chance to stop the reign of Carlo Ancelotti. And we got to remember, Real Madrid are still fighting for a treble. I think Barcelona technically are. Real Madrid technically are. There's another team. I'm not sure if it's Bayern Munich. I think it's Inter Milan, but a couple teams are fighting for such people. Let's see what Ollie Watkins has said, man. I hope he's actually said something proper. For me, I'm not happy to sit on the bench. I mean, what player is happy to sit on the bench? It's disappointing every game that I'm on the bench, but it's the manager's decision at the end of the day. That's true. But it's one thing where you've got John Duran. It's another where there is no evident striker. So I wonder what's good. I mean, I'd have to ask a Villa fan. I'm not watching Villa week in, week out, but we'd have to see. Where that's concerned. I mean, it hasn't said anything. We've been done there, innit? His frustrating situation at Villa may not seem to persist, but if he does contemplate moving on this summer, Arsenal is no longer likely to be an option. The Gunners were recently reported to have called their interest and won't be returning with a revised offer in the summer. Instead, they have other interests. Alexander Isak, Victor Gyökeres, Benjamin Sesko, and Matheus Cunha are all younger. I think we like Watkins, but we got to remember, we needed a striker. We were offered Watkins. So we thought, you know what, we like him. If a deal can get done, we're here for it. I don't think it's one we'll push the boat out. I would love us to get your Benjamin Sesko or your Gyökeres and an Ollie Watkins. I would love, in an ideal world, I'd love two strikers, a left winger, the Kai Havertz's, the Martinelli's, the Trossards, maybe one of the three at best has to move on, centre mid, left back. I want all of that, but it's naive to expect two strikers if I'm honest with you in the summer. I really do think it would be. We just have to hope for one. Arsenal have Cunha concerns after social media controversy. Arsenal have to make a decision about whether to sign Cunha amid ongoing questions about his attitude. I mean, I'm sure Berta, having been at Atletico Madrid, could get us that answer. And football's a small world. I'm sure somebody at Arsenal knows somebody at Wolves and would answer that question. While the deal is considered a no-brainer based on his talent, Arteta is notoriously picky when it comes to which players he wants to work with. This comes following the forward's questionable social media activity after he hit out a Wolves fan who had criticised his attitude towards the club. Now, footballers are allowed to hit back, you know. Like, just because he's rebutted something doesn't mean he's rattled, doesn't mean he has an attitude problem. I definitely think he's hot-headed. There's been a number of incidences. He's definitely hot-headed, but if I was a footballer and I care, and let's just say I'm Cunha, and we're going to see, but I care, and you're telling me I don't care, I'm not going to react to the thousands of comments I probably get, but every now and again you want to. So we'll have to see. Brown previously told Football Insider that Cunha's attitude may put clubs off a move this summer after his red card against Bournemouth. I mean, welcome to Arsenal, mate. Since then, Cunha has admitted he wants to leave the Molineux as he aims to win trophies and play at the highest level, raising frustrations at his current club. Man United and Liverpool join Arsenal in Matheus Cunha. Arsenal not the only club to have shown an interest in the Brazilian. What has been said is something Arsenal will take on board. They'll be speaking to people behind the scenes to find out what he's like as a person. Everybody will be doing that. That's not news. He's a very talented player. There's no doubt about that. He can do things that not a lot of other players can do at this level. There are a few clubs who could do with a talented player like that in their side. But you have to look at his character. You see certain things from him and raise questions about whether he's the best to have around. Has anybody said he's a disruptive figure? Maybe they have. I'm genuinely seeing it. Has anyone that's come out of Wolves said he's a disruptive figure, says he doesn't train hard, says he doesn't care about the club? This is a man where if you're going to talk about his attitude, when they're in a relegation front, and I don't like when people are not fair to footballers. He could have bust out from Wolves. He said it doesn't feel right to leave them in a relegation front, and he signed a new deal. So be fair. If you're going to talk about L's, talk about W's. I'm not sure about that. I do think he's hot-headed, but does being hot-headed mean you got an attitude problem? I don't know. And half of these good footballers have chips on their shoulders. But then we'll sit here and say footballers these days have no personalities. Like Vinicius clearly has a chip on his shoulder. I'm dreaming, but if Vinicius became available and he wanted to join Arsenal, you think Mikel Arteta is saying no? Anywho, people. Yeah, so we've gone over that. A player's character is just as important as their ability. I know that's certainly the case for Mikel Arteta. When you look at what he's done at Arsenal, if you were signing his ability, it's a no-brainer. But Arsenal have questions about his attitude. It'd be up to them to decide whether his talent is enough to overlook the issues. And it's true, but there's players that, on the face of it, they might look like good youths, because we don't know. There's players that probably don't get in trouble, don't have them hot-headed moments. How do we know they ain't got attitude problems? How do we know when Arteta says 10 laps around the pitch, they're huffing and puffing, or any manager? We genuinely don't know. Mikel Arteta's four-man striker shortlist revealed. While new concerns have been raised about Cunha's attitude, Arsenal already considering a number of alternatives. Benjamin Sesko, Cunha, Mateta, and Gyökeres have been name dropped here. Palace want to keep Mateta for what it's worth. Man United are apparently leading the race for Gyökeres, allegedly. Should we click on this and see what it's talking about? Okay, that was the 23rd of March, so it feels like things have changed. Arsenal looking to improve their attacking unit at the end of the season, and they've identified Gyökeres as a potential target. He's got 11 assists and 44 goals to his name at Sporting, people, this year, 26 years of age. According to Romano, the player's agents were in England early this month to hold talks regarding a potential move. However, the report does not mention whether those talks were with the Gunners. Gyökeres is on the radar of multiple clubs this summer. Give Me Sport claims Arsenal director Berta is a huge fan of the Swedish striker, and it remains to be seen whether the Gunners can get the deal done. He'll cost around 65 to 70 million euros in the summer. And we know he's needed, people. We know that we have striker problems when everybody's fit, who's going to be clinical. We've seen Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus' injuries, and why we need depth, people. Allegedly, Nico Williams has set an Arsenal ultimatum. Nico Williams has issued Arsenal an ultimatum if they want to sign him this summer. I mean, 1 minute you want to join us, then it's Barca, then Barca not going, then there's lifetime contract, then you're open to the Prem. There's a lot of whispers. The Gunners are leading the race for the Bilbao sensation, but they'll have to get a move on if they want to bring him to the Emirates. Sport reports that Williams has informed the Gunners that he wants his future resolved by July the 15th. We do. What Arsenal for? Smash the like button if you want signings in sooner rather than later, and just do it anyways. If he is to join a new club with Barcelona, the main rivals to Arsenal, the transfer must be completed by this date so that he can have a full pre-season with his club for 2024-25. Arsenal have made Williams their top target for the wing this summer, with reports circulating in recent days they are getting closer to striking a deal. Apparently, Football Transfer has previously confirmed that the Gunners were in talks with Williams' reps and had been put into pole position for the deal by their new sporting director, Berta. Arsenal are happy to trigger the 58 million euros release clause in his athletic contract, but his high wage demands have made negotiations over personal terms tricky. Barcelona also wish to sign Williams, but their financial situation makes a deal difficult. Arsenal and Barcelona were in a two-way tussle to sign Williams last summer, but the player eventually stayed at Bilbao. Barca had been particularly desperate to sign the athletic winger last summer, but were unable to complete a deal for the same financial reasons. It's been long since been claimed that Williams would ideally rather join Barca if that move was still on the table. We all know what he did during the Euros. He scored at the weekend as well, people. I'm all for his signing. Man United apparently want to hijack the Garcia deal where Arsenal are concerned, people. The highly rated 23-year-old, they need a goalie more than us. We need a number 2 or someone that can compete. Well, boy, to be honest, their best keeper is probably Tom Heaton. They need to play one of the youngsters, because that lad that played for Newcastle is trash, but at least I've seen you stand up tall against us. Onana is absolutely horseshite. So, yeah. Apparently, United have entered the race to sign the goalkeeper, setting up a potential transfer tussle. 1 minute, Barcelona, Leverkusen, this one, that one. Everybody's interested. Everybody's interested in all the good players, I guess, people. What's going on here? Am I still here? Yes, I am. Arsenal have already made a 20 million euro bid for Garcia last summer, viewing him as an option between the posts following Ramsdale's move to Southampton. No move ultimately materialized, but the Gunners' strong interest has remained. Personal terms are fully agreed between Garcia and Arsenal, while Espanyol initially stood firm on their insistence that his 30 million euros release clause be paid. Sources indicate the Spanish club are now showing a willingness to lower their asking price. Man United are preparing to hijack the move. Club sources revealed that United have identified Garcia as a potential replacement for Onana. I mean, do you want to be the number 2 at Arsenal or the number 1 at United? That's something to consider. And are they even able to move Onana on? Man United more attractive for Garcia. How? Only because he's more likely to be the number one. We got the London aspect. We're going to be in the Champions League. We're in a better health. Like you probably defo get some clean sheets with Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and all them man behind you. What you got? Lisandro Martinez and that, Lenny Euro and that. Henry was cooking him on that Sunday, on that Monday night show. To be fair, I like Lenny Euro, but the game's the game. United have yet to make an official approach, but are confident Garcia would be open to the move. Of course you would. It's Man United, especially with the promise of immediate first-team football, something Arsenal cannot guarantee, having initially viewed him as a second-choice keeper. What could potentially be crucial is that we're told United are willing to outbid Arsenal's original offer, which could sway both Espanyol and the player. And we also hear that Berta wants to divert funds. While he rates Garcia, he wants to divert funds elsewhere. Garcia is impressed in La Liga with his composure, sharp reflexes, and ball playing ability, qualities that appeal to both Premier League giants. For Arsenal, Garcia remains a long-term investment. For United, he represents a potential immediate fix as Ruben Amorim considers reshuffling the goalkeeper department. To be fair, Garcia just needs to be able to catch a ball, because Onana can do all that modern keeper stuff. He's passing range like Raya and half of these goalies, Edison. I'd like to see them in centre midfield, really and truly, just like maybe in some pre-season game. It's all the basics. Onana's jumping high when it's a low effort. He's jumping low when it's a high effort. He's spilling. He just like several bad habits in it. Just not a confident goalkeeper. And I do think it's harsh, but for all the money, the hype, and the expectation, I think Matic is right. Definitely as an Arsenal fan, I don't think you're the worst goalkeeper I've seen in Manchester United history, but I'm trying, if I ignore the guys that are evidently number twos and not good enough, and that you probably are, like, you're nowhere near Van der Sar, you're nowhere near De Gea, you're near nowhere, you shouldn't even say Peter Schmeichel, forget that, you're not even better than his son, Kasper Schmeichel. Who else have they had in goal? Probably better than, not Lingard, obviously his name's not Lingard, but it's Lin something. They had a goalie, man. See his name. F knows, but they had to keep I can't remember his name for the life of me. Crystal Palace are still being linked with Kivior people, and they're prepared to do a deal for in the region of 20 to 25 million euros. Put a bit more on that. Your Premier League club, you got money as well, and plus you still got the Elise money. You're gonna make some Eze money. Gonna make the water money once upon a time. What's this? Arsenal buying open Jonathan David talks. What's this? Newcastle beat Arsenal to teenage wonder kid. Did Arsenal bid? Because the headline sounds great, doesn't it, people? But good signing for Newcastle. Newcastle have completed the signing of Spanish wonder kid Antonio Cordano. Romano reports that Newcastle have agreed a deal to sign the Malaga sensation on a free transfer at the end of the season. An official announcement from Newcastle is expected imminently. Romano says that both Arsenal and Real Madrid wanted to sign Cordero. Sorry, people, for saying him Cordano, like the coin. While Arsenal were also reported to be in talks earlier this year. So, yeah, big up yourself. Go do your thing, man. Whether you're a star or not, we'll have to see. Arsenal and Bayern Munich allegedly opened Jonathan David talks. Arsenal and Bayern Munich have opened talks with the entourage of Jonathan David over a potential summer free transfer. I mean, if you could be an option rather than the level raiser, Gyökeres and them guys, fair enough. That's according to Sempre Inter, who report that Arsenal and Bayern have both accelerated their pursuit of the Lille striker. I reckon you go Spain or Italy. I don't think you're going Germany. I can understand it, though. And I don't think we're going to get you. The two European giants have opened talks with David's reps to understand the financial cost of the potential deal. Didn't we hear that his wage demands are crazy? No contract offer has been submitted by Arsenal or Bayern yet, but the report adds that the Gunners lead the race. We're leading the race for everything, innit? And everyone, apart from the Premier League, lead the race out of all the Premier League teams interested in David. David to leave Lyon on a free transfer. This is something we know. And to be fair, we were looking at Jonathan David going back to his time spent in Belgium as a player, people. Clearly not signing a new deal at Lyon. Drawing interest from Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham, Bayern Munich, Juventus, and Inter Milan. Aren't they going to lose Angel Gomez as well? We'll have to see. Apparently, they're demanding a gross salary of 9 million per season, a 15 million signing on fee for the striker, plus an agent fee of 10 million. If true, it will cost 34 million over the first year alone for Arsenal or Bayern to sign David this summer. Arsenal and Bayern now need to make the decision whether it is worth paying such fees for the player when there is no transfer fee. David has been one of Europe's most prolific and consistent strikers over the few years. He joined Lyon from Gent in 2020 and has since gone on to score over 100 goals in all comps for the club. He has also enjoyed an outstanding 2024-25 season, scoring 23 goals in all comps. This includes 9 in the Champions League. At the age of 25, David is already his nation's all-time top goal scorer. He has 32 goals in 61 caps for Canada, people. So we'll have to see how that develops. We've gone over that. Barcelona set asking price for Chelsea and Arsenal to sign Raphinha. Apparently, they'll let business be done for 69.4 million. He's been great. He's integral to Hansi Flick's side. Does not make sense them selling him, but if you want to believe that you do, Graham Bailey has said Arsenal have no real interest in pursuing a move for Kingsley Coleman this summer. Although the club have not rejected the deal as it stands, they don't see Coleman as their first choice option. And I reckon he goes Saudi and just goes to get paid. What's this? Let's pause this because copyright. Arsenal training. Ben White's there, Partey's there, Calafiori and Jorginho are not there. Partey is part of the Arsenal travelling squad to face Real Madrid. Ben White's been pictured in training as we've gone with Partey, and I'm sure Mikel Arteta is going to be asked at 6:15 UK time, people. So, yeah, man, interesting stories. Interesting. What's this? Josh Kroenke breaks silence. Okay, well, what did you say? Hope you ain't clickbaiting. What have you said? Last Tuesday was the craziest Tuesday I could have ever imagined. I had the worst morning that I had in over 10 years with the Nuggets, followed by the most amazing afternoon I could have ever asked for with Arsenal Football Club. So, no. Trophy parades, winning champs, winning prems, picking up domestic trophies, doing an FA Cup and Premier League double, which I've seen my boys do. God, thank you for letting me be born in 1995, man. I caught Arsenal at the last kind of serious moment. So we can definitely do a lot better than that, mate. He said, we beat Madrid 3-0 in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and we're going to Spain this week with a chance to advance. They need to stay focused. They got a lot of things they're dealing with too. But on a human level, that was a rough Tuesday for me. Okay. Where's the money, though? Arsenal plot move to sign Anthony Gordon after huge Newcastle twist. We've heard David Ornstein say we've got admiration in him. Everybody in the Premier League would want to sign Gordon, just like with Isaac, just like with Gomares. But as we know, with all three, Newcastle have won a trophy. They got new owners. They got an exciting thing. They spent big money on Gordon and Isaac anyways. They're going to want an arm and a leg. And he signed a new deal. I don't believe in this. I can humor you lot and say, in theory, Saka and Gordon with a Gyökeres, that would be a good front three. And I would take out, listen, the 24-year-old is more than welcome to sign for Arsenal Football Club, but tired, man. The winger's agent has been circulating his name as a potential option in recent weeks. Now, there's no way of backing this up, but didn't he just sign a new deal? Unless he wants an improvement on his new deal, that don't make sense. Or he genuinely wants to leave. I don't know, man. This comes after Brown told Football Insider Newcastle could accept huge offers for Gordon if they are forced to sell before they can spend this summer. The Magpies remain extremely reluctant to lose their best players, but would be prepared to cash in on the England man ahead of Alexander Isak or Gomares. Arsenal, meanwhile, determined to sign a new winger amid concerns about their strength and depth following injuries to Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli this season. What has been said here? I hear Arsenal have been having a look at Anthony Gordon. I think his agent is putting his name about that. He usually plays a big part in driving a deal. Since his move to Newcastle from Everton, he's cemented himself as a real top player for them. Newcastle is a great club to be at, especially now that they've won a trophy. They're going to be looking to push on from there. So I'm not entirely convinced it'd be a simple decision for Gordon to make. Arsenal might be prepared to offer him more money. And of course, they're aiming to win the Premier League, and they believe he can help them do that. So from that, and he played well against us. So from that position, it's a move that could make sense because he would certainly improve them. It doesn't surprise me at all to see Arsenal interested, but there's still a long way to go before a deal can happen. And yeah, we're still being linked with Nico Williams, and he's also been linked with Real Madrid. Apparently, we've leapfrogged Real Madrid in the race for his signature. Really? Nico Williams to Real Madrid? Really? Nico Williams, again, a lot of conflicting stuff. 1 minute, Barcelona are not involved. Now they are. This is why it just provides talking points to us, people. Nico Williams is still Barcelona's first transfer target for the winger position. What's this? Hugo Ekitike, Eintracht Frankfurt will demand between 90 to 100 million for the in-demand striker, people. He's been linked, as you know, with Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Newcastle, people. So it's gone up from 80 million euros to 90 to 100. Fair enough. In 42 games this season, he has 20 goals and 8 assists. Frankfurt currently sit third in the Bundesliga and are into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. He also bagged against Spurs, which is brownie points. On top of this, Ekitike's fee is related to the price tag that Newcastle placed on the Swedish striker Isak. Oh, fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. The 25-year-old is also valued at 100 million euros. And as Ekitike is 3 years old, I mean, he's doing quite well to be playing Champions League and play for PSG, play in Europa League and do all of that at 3 years old. as Ikitike is 3 years old. Do they mean 3 years younger? I don't know, people. Frankfurt sees this as a fair valuation. If Frankfurt qualifies for the Champions League and wins the Europa League this season, the asking price for the 22-year-old will be even more justified. So yeah, they're good at selling. They sold Jovic. I forgot you went Real Madrid. You got Kond. They sold Helia for good money. They sold Koulibaly for good money. They sold Marmoush for something decent. And you would imagine Hugo Ekitike is going to follow suit, people. On the topic of European football, don't forget, we will be watching Aston Villa versus PSG tomorrow. Even if you're not going to, today actually, even if you're not going to be there, smash the like button on the vids, help with the engagement. What's this? Liverpool have caused Arsenal to panic. Just seems like was, if I'm honest with you, people. But let's see if there's been any updated stuff. We've been linked with Vlahovic. Some nonsense rumors today, innit, people? Nonsense rumors, but fair enough, man. The game's the game. And to be fair, Van Dijk and Onslaught said that Liverpool are going to do not a madness, but they're going to do a madness in the summer market. Let's see. Liverpool now appear to have overtaken Arsenal in a separate transfer saga that both sides will be looking to come on top of. Let's see exactly what's being said there. Arsenal taken aback by Liverpool's latest approach for Hato. Liverpool, of course, panic at Arsenal after... How can you cause panic if David Ornstein and all these guys say we're only going to move for another defender if Kivior goes, which... For me, it's panic because I want your Hato. Apologies. Like, if I was in Arsenal right now and I was next to bro, I'd say, hey, make some phone calls, Timber, gas him. But apparently, it's caused panic at Arsenal after making a new approach for the Ajax defender Hato. He's a top target for both Premier League sides heading into the summer transfer window. With Court Offside reporting that Ajax will listen to offers of around 50 million euros, 42 million for the Netherlands international. Liverpool making a fresh move for the teenage defender is an encouraging sign that the Reds are ready to spend top dollar for the Dutch wonder kid. They've been linked with him for some time, can play both left back and centre back. He's a dream defensive signing for them. I don't know about that, but fair enough. Declan Rice set for different Arsenal role. What does that mean? Real Madrid are expected to come out all guns blazing. Yeah. Bellingham warned how one place where crazy things happen is our house. That's great, but what does this mean for Rice? Is it meaning Rice is in the six? This is just Petit's opinion. Respectfully to Petit, ain't no one trying to hear that. Arsenal could look to secure a deal for Vlahovic in the upcoming transfer window. I respect it. Anyone still linking us with Vlahovic, I respect it. According to reports, with Juventus feeling the economic burden of his contract, which could open the door for the Gunners to make a permanent signing. Almost 90 goals in just under 200 Serie A appearances is an outstanding record, and the 25-year-old has been easily one of the most consistent strikers in the country during that time. He's also the highest earner in Serie A. Mikel Arteta is crying out for an out-and-out talisman, having been linked with Isaac amongst others. But Vlavic's record in the Italian top flight and Juventus's open-mindedness to a sell could be enough to see the Spaniard swoop. We're seriously interested. He earns 320 grand per week, people, which is obviously going to put Juventus on a financial burden, and his contract is up in 2026. Juventus are thought to be open to his sale for a fee of around 50 million, in brackets 43 million pounds, which could make him an attractive prospect for Arteta. Sources have indicated that the Premier League clubs could submit offers of around 45 million euros, in brackets 38.5 million this summer, in a bid to lure Juventus into relinquishing their relationship with their main talisman. There's no doubt in Vlahovic has quality, and he still has 14 goals this season, but his annual wage and bonuses are thought to be costing Juventus around 20 million per season. Juventus have been crap in terms of sales, looking at what some of their players have been doing, and crap in terms